Murong Han-344 was a noble minister of the Murong Xianbei regime in the state of Yan and the half-brother of Murong Huang, the founding ruler of the state of Yan. He was a renowned hero of the Xianbei people during the 16 Kingdoms period, 304 to 439. Murong Han was tall and powerful, with exceptionally long arms. He was skilled in archery, capable of drawing a 300-pound bow and shooting extra-long arrows. His ability to accurately kill enemies from great distances struck fear into those who heard of him. Murong Hui, the founder of the Yan regime, was influenced by Chinese culture and ensured that each of his children received a Confucian education from an early age. Murong Han loved Confucianism and treated others with respect and courtesy, regardless of their wealth or social status. From scholars to soldiers, everyone was willing to follow him. Murong Han was intelligent and resourceful, and his father, Murong Hui, highly valued his talents and often entrusted him with important responsibilities. Murong Han lived up to his father's expectations, leading his army to numerous victories, gaining immense fame and his father's deep affection. After the rebellion of the Eight Kings, the Central Plains region was in turmoil, and the Western Jin Central Court was unable to control the distant Xianbei areas. Murong Han keenly saw an opportunity and suggested to his father, Murong Hui, that they assist the court in stabilizing the Liaodong region. By obtaining local military and political authority under the guise of serving the Western Jin Central Court, they could expand the power, territory, and population of the Murong Xianbei regime. Murong Hui followed Murong Han's advice, leading cavalry to quell the rebellious local tribes. After securing the areas, he appointed officials to govern them, greatly increasing the influence and prestige of the Murong Xianbei regime. Before long, the expansion of the Murong Xianbei regime's power aroused the great displeasure of Xianbei, an administrative official stationed in the Liaodong region by the Western Jin. He persuaded the Xianbei tribes of the Yuan and Duan, along with Goguryeo, to jointly attack Murong Hui. Murong Han advised his father, Murong Hui, to use a stratagem to sow discord among the enemy, causing suspicion and mistrust between the allied forces of Goguryeo, the Yuan Xianbei, and the Duan Xianbei. This tactic successfully neutralized the joint invasion. Then, by dividing and luring the enemy forces, they achieved a decisive victory over the Yuan Xianbei army. Ultimately, the three states were compelled to submit and seek peace, and Xianbei, the administrative official originally stationed in the Liaodong region by the Western Jin, was driven away. This led to the gradual formation of a nascent Murong Xianbei regime that the Jin dynasty could not easily contend with, laying the foundation for the future creation of the state of Yan. All of this was due to Murong Han's contributions, his talents, his military prestige, and his father's favor. These qualities made Murong Huang, his half-brother, intensely jealous and eager to eliminate him, causing Murong Han great anxiety. In ancient China, the emperor's successor was, in principle, the eldest legitimate son, that is, the eldest son of the emperor's principal wife, the empress. Murong Han's mother was a concubine, a position of low status. As Murong Hui's eldest son by a concubine, Murong Han did not have the priority to inherit the throne. However, Murong Han was both a brilliant strategist and a skilled warrior with distinguished achievements, earning him high prestige within the Murong Xianbei regime. This was precisely what worried Murong Huang, the legitimate eldest son of Murong Hui. On June 4, 333, Murong Hui passed away, and his legitimate eldest son, Murong Huang, succeeded him. Murong Huang's cold and ruthless attitude towards Murong Han filled him with dread. Murong Han sighed and said, "I accepted my duties from my late father and dared not shirk my responsibilities. Fortunately, with the blessing of my father's spirit, I have achieved victories. This is heaven's aid to our country, not the result of human effort. However, others say that it is my own strength, believing I possess exceptional talents and am difficult to subdue. How can I just sit and await disaster?" Thus, Murong Han and his son fled to the Duan Xianbei tribe. The tribe's leader, Duan Liao, had long heard of Murong Han's talents and hoped to make use of them, so he treated Murong Han with great affection and respect. In the year 334, Duan Liao sent troops to attack Murong Han's territory at Tuha, but did not succeed. Subsequently, Duan Liao joined forces with Murong Han and his brother Duan Lan to attack Luqing. The Murong Xianbei soldiers defended together, and Duan Lan and others were unable to achieve victory, forcing them to retreat. 20 days later, the Duan Xianbei tribe reinforced their troops and launched another attack. Their soldiers wore heavy battle robes, shielded themselves with shields, and deployed siege ladders. They attacked from all sides continuously, day and night. The Murong Xianbei soldiers strengthened their defense even further, inflicting heavy casualties by killing over 1,000 of Duan Lan's soldiers. Despite the severe losses, the Duan Xianbei tribe persisted in their assault without retreating. Murong Huang dispatched his ninth brother, Murong Han, and the Han Chinese general Feng Yi, among others, to aid in the relief effort. Murong Huang warned Murong Han, "The enemy's morale is high, do not engage them directly to decide the outcome." Murong Han, known for his bold and daring character, led over 1,000 cavalry as the vanguard straight towards Luqing. Despite Feng Yi's advice to the contrary, Murong Han persisted. As a result, they encountered Duan Lan at Niuwei Valley, where Murong Han's army suffered a major defeat with more than half of his troops killed. Feng Yi managed to reorganize the formation and fought desperately, thus preventing a total annihilation of their forces. Duan Lan was eager to pursue the advantage, but at this critical moment, Murong Han, fearing the potential destruction of his own country, advised against it, saying, "As a general, we should proceed cautiously, understanding both ourselves and the enemy thoroughly before making any rash moves. Although the enemy's auxiliary forces have been defeated, their main strength remains intact. Murong Huang is cunning and strategic, often hiding his true intentions. If he personally leads the entire army to defend against us, and we venture deep into enemy territory alone, we will be outnumbered and in great danger. Moreover, when we accepted the king's command, it was precisely to achieve today's victory. If we disobey orders and rush forward, risking failure, we will lose all our achievements and reputation. How can we face the king again with any dignity?" Murong Han's council successfully persuaded Duan Lan to reconsider his aggressive pursuit. Duan Lan responded, "The defeat and capture of these retreating Murong Xianbei troops are inevitable, there is no other outcome. Your concern is merely that I might take advantage of the situation to destroy your country. Currently, Murong Ren is in the east. If my advance truly fulfills my ambitions, I will welcome him as the heir to your country on your behalf. Ultimately, I will not betray you, causing your ancestral temple to be cut off." Murong Han pretended to be aggrieved and said, "Since I have chosen to ally with the Duan Xianbei, there is no reason for me to return. The fate of my homeland has nothing to do with me. I only wish to offer my strategic advice for your noble country and cherish our mutual reputation." He then ordered his subordinates to prepare to return alone. Duan Lan had no choice but to accompany him back together. In 338 AD, Murong Huang, the king of Yan, allied with the tyrant Shi Hu of the Zhao state to jointly invade the Duan Xianbei from both the north and south. As Murong Huang led his troops to attack and plunder the northern towns of the Duan Xianbei, he later withdrew back to his own country. Duan Liao prepared to pursue him. Murong Han said, "Now that the Zhao state's army is in the south, we should concentrate our forces to defend against them. Yet here we are, preparing to fight Murong Huang. Murong Huang personally leads the attack, his soldiers are elite. If we happen to lose, how can we then resist the strong enemy in the south?" Duan Lan angrily retorted, "I was deceived by you before, leading to today's disaster. I won't be fooled again." He then led all his remaining troops in pursuit. Murong Huang set up an ambush and decisively defeated Duan Lan's army, killing thousands and capturing 5,000 households along with countless livestock on their return. After Duan Lan's defeat, Duan Liao dared not face further battles. He led over 1,000 families, including his wife, relatives, and local elites, to abandon Lingshi and flee to Mount Miyun. Before departing, he held Murong Han's hand and wept, saying, "I did not heed your advice and brought this downfall upon myself. It is my fault that you have lost your place of refuge. I am deeply ashamed." Duan Liao admired Murong Han's talents, but he understood that Murong Han's loyalty lay with his homeland and not with the Duan Xianbei. Thus, he reluctantly bid farewell to Murong Han with respect and courtesy. Murong Han, feeling helpless, then sought refuge with the Yuan Xianbei to the north. At this time, Yuan Edo, the current leader of the Yuan Xianbei, had recently expelled the former tribal leader and declared himself ruler. However, he faced a military campaign from Murong Huang, which led Yuan Edo to seek peace out of fear. Yuan Edo was not a generous or tolerant person. He envied Murong Han's talents and reputation. While Murong Han was highly respected and trusted among the Duan Xianbei, he was marginalized and frustrated among the Yuan Xianbei. Consequently, he spent his days drinking heavily, feigning madness, sometimes letting his hair hang loose, loudly singing and shouting, kneeling and begging for food. The people of the Yuan tribe looked down on him and paid him little attention. As a result, Murong Han was able to move freely, traveling between various places, carefully memorizing the geography and terrain of the Yuan territory. Despite Murong Han being in exile, he often secretly strategized for the state of Yan. Murong Huang also understood that his half-brother Murong Han's initial flight was not a betrayal of their clan, but rather stemmed from mutual suspicions and misunderstandings between brothers. Therefore, he entrusted the merchant Wang Che to inquire about Murong Han's sentiments during his business dealings with the Yuan Xianbei. When Murong Han met Wang Che, he remained silent, only pounding his chest and nodding his head. Wang Che relayed everything to Murong Huang, who understood Murong Han's implied message, saying, "Murong Han wishes to return." Therefore, Murong Huang sent Wang Che once again to the Yuan Xianbei, this time carrying a specially crafted powerful bow and long arrows intended specifically for Murong Han. These were secretly hidden along the route, known only to Murong Han. Soon after, Murong Han seized an opportunity to steal Yuan Edo's prized horse, taking along his 2 sons. Following Wang Che's instructions, he retrieved the bow and arrows and swiftly rode away to return home. Yuan Edo noticed Murong Han escaping and immediately dispatched over 100 brave riders to pursue him. When these riders caught up with Murong Han, he halted and raised his bow and arrows, loudly advising the pursuers, "I have lived abroad for a long time and now wish to return home. Since I have mounted my horse, there is no reason for me to turn back. In the past, I pretended to be foolish every day to deceive you all, but in truth, I have not lost my skills. Please do not force me, as it would be a fatal mistake for you." As the pursuers disregarded his warnings and approached directly, Murong Han added, "I have lived in your country for a long time and still hold affection for it. I do not wish to harm you. Leave a knife standing at 100 paces from me. Let me shoot an arrow at it. If I hit it with the first shot, you may return. If I miss, then you may come and capture me." The pursuers hesitated, unsure of what to believe. One of the riders dismounted, unsheathed his dagger, and planted it in the ground at the designated distance. Murong Han tightly gripped his massive curved bow with his left hand, while his right hand drew back the long arrow on the string until it almost touched the bow. Only then did Murong Han release the arrow, and swoosh! Swoosh! The arrow pierced through the ring on the dagger handle. Witnessing this, the pursuing riders were greatly astonished and scattered in fear. Murong Huang, upon hearing that Murong Han had returned, was overjoyed and treated him with great honor and respect. In October of the year 342 AD, Murong Huang relocated his capital from Jiqing to Longqing. Throughout history, leaders of the Murong Xianbei had always aspired to rule over the Central Plains. However, to achieve this long-term goal, Murong Huang needed to first eliminate the Yuan Xianbei, his western neighbors. Yet, he hesitated because launching a campaign in the west might leave the eastern front vulnerable to potential attacks from Goguryeo. This dilemma left Murong Huang indecisive. Murong Han then said to Murong Huang, "The Yuan Xianbei have grown strong over time and repeatedly posed threats to our nation. Now that Yuan Yadugi has usurped power and taken control, public sentiment refuses to comply. Furthermore, his character and insight are mediocre and ignorant, his generals lack talent, and the state lacks defense measures with poorly organized troops. Having resided in their country for a long time, I am familiar with their terrain. Although they rely on the powerful Jia people from afar, their influence and strength are far from substantial. Distant water cannot extinguish nearby fire, aiding them won't be of much help. If we attack the Yuan tribe now, victory is assured. However, Goguryeo is right at our doorstep and often harbors intentions of espionage against us. They know that once the Yuan tribe falls, trouble will come to their doorstep, and they will surely strike when we are unprepared. If we leave only a small force behind, it won't suffice for defense. If we leave too many troops, we won't be able to conquer the Yuan tribe. This is our imminent concern that must be dealt with first. Assessing the strength of Goguryeo, we can defeat them in battle. The Yuan tribe is defensive by nature and unlikely to venture far to contest our interests. After conquering Goguryeo, we can easily turn back to defeat the Yuan tribe. Once these two nations are subdued, we can fully benefit from the East Sea, become wealthy and strong, and have no worries behind us, thus allowing us to plan for the Central Plains. Murong Huang, upon hearing this, understood the situation clearly and was greatly pleased. He then adopted Murong Han's strategy. The Yan army was preparing to attack Goguryeo. There were two routes leading to Goguryeo. One was the northern route, which had flat terrain, and the other was the southern route, which was rugged and narrow. The generals of the Yan army all preferred to take the northern route. Murong Han said, considering Goguryeo's usual thinking, they will surely believe our army will take the northern route, thus likely prioritizing defense against the north over the south. Your Majesty should lead the elite troops to attack via the southern route, catching them off guard and easily seizing the capital of Goguryeo, Wundang. Additionally, send a diversionary force through the northern route to feign attack. Even if they face setbacks, their core will have already been shattered, rendering them powerless. Murong Huang then once again adopted Murong Han's strategy. In November, Murong Huang personally led 40,000 elite soldiers advancing from the southern route. He appointed Murong Han and his son Murong Ba, Murong Chue, as the vanguard. Additionally, he dispatched the chief clerk Wan Yu and others to lead 15,000 troops advancing from the northern route to campaign against Goguryeo. As anticipated by Murong Han, King Gaozhou of Goguryeo indeed dispatched his brother Wu to lead 50,000 elite troops to confront the Yans at the northern route, while he himself led a weaker force to guard the southern route. Murong Han's vanguard arrived first and defeated the Goguryeo forces wherever they encountered them. The Yan forces then launched a decisive attack, resulting in a major defeat for the Goguryeo army. King Gaozhou abandoned Wando and fled alone on horseback. Meanwhile, due to setbacks in the northern advance, Murong Huang decided not to pursue Gaozhou further. They seized the accumulated treasures from the Goguryeo royal treasury, captured over 50,000 people, set fire to Gaozhou's palace, destroyed the defenses of Wando, and took Gaozhou's mother Lady Zhou and his wife captive before returning home. In February of the year 343, Gaozhou submitted to former Yan as a vassal. In the same month, Yuan Yadugi dispatched Prime Minister Mo Qianhun to lead troops in an attack against Yan. However, Mo Qianhun suffered a crushing defeat at the hands of Murong Han, with his entire army captured, leaving Mo Qianhun himself as the sole survivor. In February of the year 344, Murong Huang personally led troops to attack Yuan Yadugi, appointing Murong Han as the vanguard general. He also dispatched Murong Jun, Murong Ku, Murong Chue, and others to lead separate armies, advancing on 3 different routes simultaneously. Yuan Yadugi dispatched the brave general Shi Yegan to lead elite troops to confront them. Murong Huang urgently told Murong Han, Shi Yegan is renowned for his bravery among the 3 armies, we should proceed with caution. Murong Han replied, Yuan Yadugi has mobilized all his elite troops from within the country and entrusted them to Shi Yegan, who is renowned for his bravery and relied upon by the entire nation. If we defeat him, their country will collapse without a fight. Besides, I am familiar with Shi Yegan's character. Despite his reputation, he is easy to deal with. We should not avoid him as it would demoralize our troops. With this decision made, they advanced to engage in battle and secretly instructed a messenger to swiftly inform the young and brave General Murong Chue to launch a surprise attack on Shi Yegan. The 2 armies faced each other, with Murong Han personally leading a charge against the enemy formation. Xi Yegan stepped forward to meet the challenge, and as the two commanders engaged in a fierce battle, Murong Chui suddenly appeared and launched a surprise attack from the flank. Swift as lightning, he slew Xi Yegan. Witnessing their leader's fall, the soldiers of the Yuan faction panicked and scattered without putting up a fight. Seizing the opportunity, the Yan army pursued the retreating forces and subsequently captured the capital city of Yuan, Ximenquan. Yuan Yadugi fled but met his end in the northern desert, leading to the complete dissolution and downfall of the Yuan faction. Murong Hao fully confiscated their livestock, resources, and wealth, relocating over 5,000 villages of the Yuan faction to Changli and expanding the territory by over 1,000 li. This transformation elevated Yan into a powerful state capable of contending for dominance over the Central Plains. Murong Han was wounded by stray arrows during the melee with Xi Yegan and remained bedridden for an extended period after the battle, rarely leaving his home. As his injuries gradually healed, he attempted to ride a horse at home. However, someone accused Murong Han of feigning illness while secretly practicing riding, suspecting him of plotting rebellion. Despite relying on Murong Han's bravery and strategy, Murong Hao harbored suspicions and ultimately ordered Murong Han's execution, disregarding their brotherly bond. Before his death, Murong Han said, "I fled in guilt initially, then returned. Today, my death comes late. I overestimated my abilities, hoping to unify the world and bring peace to our country under the threat of the Jia invaders in the Central Plains. This ambition cannot be realized. Even in death, I will have regrets. Such is fate." He then drank poison and died. The Murong Xianbei clan embraced Chinese culture early on. During the chaos of the War of the Eight Princes in Western Jin Dynasty, many Han Chinese scholars and officials fled the turmoil and resettled in the border regions inhabited by ethnic minorities. Murong Hui, the founder of the former Yan regime, demonstrated keen foresight and wisdom in accepting and integrating these Han Chinese refugees, which led to rapid adoption of Chinese cultural influence among the Murong Xianbei people. This cultural assimilation facilitated societal changes and fostered a generation of talented individuals. During the 16 Kingdoms period, the Murong Xianbei clan produced a multitude of colorful and influential figures, including both heroes and kings. Murong Han stands out as a tragic hero whose story evokes deep regret among later generations. Despite harboring grand ambitions for his country and possessing extraordinary abilities, he tragically met his end due to the narrow-minded and cold-blooded actions of his own brothers, leaving behind a legacy of unfulfilled potential.